Well, like dozens of the other executive orders and actions that have been taken, uh, we're going to have to examine whether what he's doing is actually in compliance with the law and the United States Constitution. And to the extent that it's not, I'm confident that he will be sued. They are losing in court over and over and over again. These decisions are being rendered by federal judges who have been appointed by Democratic presidents and Republican presidents.
Meanwhile,
the Supreme Court rules to allow deportations under the Alien Enemies Act. It is an 18th century wartime law meant to speed up mass deportations. There's one stipulation: migrants must have a court hearing before they're deported.
They are losing in court over and over and over again.
a few moments later.
Breaking news at the Supreme Court. It just handed President Trump another win, allowing his administration to fire hundreds of probationary federal workers. I want to get straight to Paula Reed, who was looking through the decision. Paula, what did they say?
So, Dana, this is a significant win for the administration. The fourth one they have notched from the Supreme Court in just the past few days.
They are losing in court over and over and over again.
Thank you for playing. Should we or should we not follow the advice of the galactically stupid?
Well, Hakeem, apparently you're not a prophet.
Let's get ready to rumble!
You can't handle the truth.
So Donald Trump, making good on his campaign promises, began immediately not just rounding up these illegal alien gang members and getting them off of our streets, but he got them out of our country, negotiated a deal with Venezuela to take them back and place them in probably one of the most stringent prison systems on the planet when it comes to dealing with this type of ilk. And immediately, a federal judge in Washington, D.C. said, "You can't do that, turn the planes around." And now finally, the Supreme Court has stepped in and said that that judge and the so-called plaintiffs in the case have no standing. Bump, bump. Now, while they tried to make this legal argument that people who had crossed into our country illegally, which that in and of itself is a crime, they are due, they are owed, they have the right to expect due process. Now, I have a personal feeling about that.
Nobody cares! Nobody cares!
Yes, I do understand there is the rule of law, there is a legal process, and the Supreme Court, in stating that President Trump can resume deporting these individuals, they did say that there has to be a hearing. Here's the real rub for the libloons. That's not going to happen in Washington, D.C., or New York, or California. It's going to be Texas, because Texas is the point of entry. So we know, I think pretty much what's going to happen in the Texas hearings. These people are going to immediately be fast-tracked to a hearing and then expedited on cargo planes out of here. Major win for President Trump. Also, he was supposed to bring somebody back. It was under an order that by midnight last night, he had to bring someone back who had been sent out incorrectly. But yet the Trump administration, the Department of Justice, is saying, no, this person had gang ties to MS-13. And if he was being targeted by other gangs, it's not because he was some innocent citizen just, minding his own business and driving an Uber, just trying to make a new life for himself here in America with his family. No, they were trying to kill him because he was in a rival gang. And again, the president was under a court mandate. Bring him back. The Supreme Court stepped in and said, time out. Don't have to bring him back just yet. You might have to, but not just yet. So we know where that's going. And then today, the Supreme Court handed down a ruling. Remember, Donald Trump, under the recommendation of Elon Musk and Doge, 16,000 federal employees that had been fired, terminated, were under a court order that they were to be reinstated across about 9 different government agencies. And that basically the judge in his summation had said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but this is pretty close to being spot on, you can't fire people who are simply doing a good job. Okay? You as a federal judge don't get to tell the president who he can hire and fire. Again, has everybody forgotten, apparently so, how many people Hillary Rodham Clinton fired as not even as the president, as the wife of the president during Bill Clinton's first term? I mean, the media talked about it. Even the liberal media talked about it at that time, that no presidential administration had fired more people so quickly than the Clintons did. They basically wanted all remnants of conservatives and Republicans who were working in any type of bureaucracy gone. Get out, go. By the way, every presidential administration fires people. That is what happens. But apparently, it's always different rules for Donald Trump. Rules for thee, not for me, is the way these liberals approach their illogic hatred of Donald Trump. Well, the Supreme Court stepped in today and said, yep, the president can fire these people. And I can promise you the firings will now really ramp up. Also today, Pam Bondi issued a decision that 900,000 migrants who had been granted status to stay here by the Biden administration, that's now been revoked. 900,000. They're being told, get online, self-deport, notify us that you are self-deporting, and everything will be okay. You can go back to your country of origin, and you can apply to come in correctly. If you don't self-deport and we catch you, we will remove you, and you will never come back to the United States again. These are the things that Donald Trump ran on. Just like he ran on the tariffs and getting trade where it needs to be. China is just about ready to declare war. Okay, really? You're going to declare war on us because we're not going to buy your Chinese-made crap? Tell you what, we'll swap something out for you. You want to keep sending us your Chinese knockoffs of everything, we'll send you the knockoff of Barack Obama. That would be Timu Hakeem Jeffries, who is so desperate trying to be the next Barack Obama, and he's not even close. When he stands out there in a field by himself saying, the people are with us. Really? You're in a field alone doing a selfie video. These people have no thought for optics. The so-called 1,300 mass protests across the country. We find out that it was all funded. There are literally now thousands of videos on YouTube of people who just took their cell phones and went up and started interviewing these people. They're all a bunch of yumheads who don't know anything, who, some of them are old hippies, reliving the anti-Vietnam, and we shall overcome. I watched more black podcasters lose their minds over that. Like, what is the matter with you white people? Knock it off. You look so stupid out there right now. Not to mention, that's our song. Talk about cultural misappropriation. So, the Democrats are losing their mind that the tariffs are working. Over 50 nations have lined up to say, President Trump, let's negotiate. That includes Vietnam. That includes India. That includes Israel. That includes South Korea. The only ones holding out, China. You don't buy our stuff, we go to war. Right. And we're going to buy stuff from people that's trying to kill us and blow us up. We are their economy. They're going to have to get serious here. So, President holding a line there, holding a line with Iran today. This is what we voted for. And by the way, when you hear them say that there's buyer's remorse among Trump voters, nope, another lie, just like they tried to lie about Trump and Elon Musk were having a split, that Trump was jealous over Elon Musk. That's not happening. We don't have any regrets about this. And to the average person out there, they're not worried about the stock market. They're worried about the supermarket. And the prices of eggs are dropping. The price of oil has dropped $30 a barrel in 24 hours. And I hate to say this, and Donald Trump is not trying to, quote unquote, punish the investor class. He is an investor himself. But right now, the average American sees that a lot of their problems is a result of that top 1% that, hey, God bless you that you've been able to accumulate that kind of wealth. How about share a little? would be kind of nice. And, so that the middle class could get back to living the middle class dream. You're making all this money while you ship our jobs everywhere else. And they see Donald Trump is coming in and righting the ship. It has been astounding. Look up some of the videos that are on YouTube where, because of what Trump has done with these tariffs, for the first time, the vast majority of this country is waking up that, wait a minute, I thought we had free trade. I thought all these nations had free trade. All our stuff is being tariffed going into their countries, but we aren't tariffing anything that comes into us. The American people are waking up to that saying, well, no wonder we're losing our jobs. This is another aha moment. Just like somebody failed to tell Disney that the woke culture, woke ideology is dead, and the new Snow White movie got to be the funeral. It is a new day, a new economy. It's getting good. And again, listen to these Democrats wring their hands, say, you promised to bring prices down. It hasn't even been 100 days yet. Before this 100 days is over, you're going to see gas prices go down, groceries are going down. By the way, interest rates are collapsing. They're dropping. The next few months, be able to refinance your car loan, your mortgage. What Donald Trump has done is working. And what are the Democrats doing? They're screaming. Yet while they're screaming and protesting, notice what they're not offering. Answers. They have no answers. They have no suggestions. They have no plan. But hey, Jasmine Crotchet, the gangsta wannabe project mama, is out there slamming that, Donald Trump is breaking the laws and he's stealing our democracy. And the Supreme Court stepped in and said, no, he is within the confines of the Constitution. Gotta love it.